Hello everyone, Sublocal Central here. Welcome back to another video, and today I am updating my 2026 midterm election predictions. So let's jump right into it. I don't want to waste any more of you guys' time, so let's get right into it. We're starting off with the Senate, then we're going to head to the governors, then finally going to finish it off with the House of Representatives. So let's get started. Here we go. So we start off with 35 Senate seats, 34 Democrat, 31 Republican. States for the Democrats: Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, Delaware, Virginia. Alright, next up, states for the Republicans: Wyoming, Idaho, Montana, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia. So some of you may be questioning why I don't have Montana in competitive, or why I don't have Virginia or New Mexico in competitive. Well, for New Mexico, they don't have a Republican running. They currently do not have a Republican on the ballot in New Mexico. So that's safe by default. And then in Virginia, obviously, you see what happened with the governorship last year. I doubt that what happens in Tuesday's redistricting will change my mind about this rating. So, yeah, for many of you thinking, oh, Montana's going to be competitive now it's open. No, it's not. Stop dreaming. All right. Next up is likelies for Democrats. I got Minnesota and New Hampshire. My reasons for that is they're going to be somewhat competitive, but with what's going down right now with the environment, I say the Republicans probably are not going to get close. All right, likely for Republicans, Florida and Iowa. I say the Democrats are starting to lose. And Nebraska. I forgot about Nebraska. Nebraska is going to be competitive. Iowa is going to be competitive because Democrats are playing pretty well in both states, but I don't think it's going to be enough as the others to pull through. In Florida, it's on the fringe of competitive and safe. I'm going with likely Republican right now, but it's probably not going to flip. All right, leans for the Democrats: Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan. In Georgia, North Carolina, it seems like that Republicans are getting, well, in North Carolina, the Republicans are getting lapped in fundraising by Roy Cooper and their nominee, Michael Whatley, the RNC chair, has been outraised like 3-1. I think North Cooper has a pretty solid edge. I'm not going to send it to likely right now. Same with Georgia. Ossoff. It's going to be competitive, but Ossoff has been cranking up a chest of money over there. He has been polling pretty well against the two Republican frontrunners who are going to go probably into a runoff. So it'll be even more time before it gets decided in the Republican side. So I say leans for both of them, but trending more and more towards the Democrats by the day. All right, leans for Republicans. There's only one, and it's Alaska. And actually, no, the only one is Texas. Alaska is not lean Republican. Texas, James Talrico has been the top fundraising candidate in the Senate races so far this season, and with he's just going to continue to crank out that money due to Republicans being in a messy runoff, and with a potential Ken Paxton nomination in the Republican side. I say lean for right now, but if Cornyn is the nominee, fringe is a lean towards likely, but still going to be very competitive. And then the tilts. I got Tilt D in Maine. Graham Patner again has been raising a ton of money, and Susan Collins has ran in environments where it's either been good for the Republicans. She was either all right. She was very popular in '08. It's why she didn't have a competitive race. But in 14, Republican environment, 2020, she had Donald Trump on the ballot, and it helped her barely get through. And then in 2002, Republican environment, 96, she she won because of very she won big because she was, I think, the lieutenant governor. So, but yeah, I think this is her worst environment she's ever faced, and I think she's eventually probably gonna lose. And finally, let's go with the tilts. Both of them are for Republicans. It's Ohio and Alaska. Things are looking starting to get bad for Republicans there, but still, the DNA, I say it's going to be a Republican win there. But it, things can happen. Things can get better for Republicans, or Democrats can get both in the United States Senate. Right now, I have 51 Republican, 49 Democrat, but map is still trending towards the Democratic side. All right, now over to the governors. Same deal. We're gonna start from safe, then likely, then lean, then tilt with these governorships. Let's start with the saves for the Democrats. Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Colorado, Illinois, Minnesota, New York. I accidentally pressed Vermont, my bad. I was meant to press Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Maryland, and that's in Pennsylvania. You guys remember yelling at me saying, "Why Pennsylvania? Why Minnesota?" In Minnesota, come on, dude. You got Mike Lindell, but the front runner for Republicans against a very popular Democratic senator and Amy Klobuchar. Come on, and Klobuchar has been outrunning Democratic candidate, has been like getting 60% in I think every race he ran except for 24, which was a really a really bad year for Democrats up the ballot. Kamala Harris barely won Minnesota, but Klobuchar still got almost 60%. So come on. All right. States for Republicans: Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, Vermont. That's it. Look, if you're thinking, oh, Florida's going to be, no, stop. Florida's not going to be competitive, even though Brian Donalds has been taking some L's by listening and going after, paying attention to his opponents, even though he has a huge lead in the polls. Like going after James Fishback when you're ahead by 50 points, what are you doing? But I think Donalds is going to win, and then I doubt that whoever the Democrats put up is going to put much of a fight. Donalds or the Republican, if Collins or Fitzpatrick actually do somehow win the primary, uh, I doubt the Republicans are going to face any trouble against the slate of Democrats that are up there for the governorship. All right, likelies for Democrats: Maine, and that's it. All right, so Maine should not be competitive. The governorship in Maine is Democratic held. It should stay Democratic held. So yeah. Alright, next is likely Republican. Kansas, Texas, Alaska, and New Hampshire. For New Hampshire, Democrats might be asking, why is New Hampshire likely Republican? Yes, New Hampshire is a traditionally Democratic state, but down ballot, Republicans do very well. If Democrats have not put up a candidate against Kelly Ayotte that could actually compete against Ayotte. Ayotte should have a good chance of winning re-election by double digits. Alright, in Alaska, just because of ranked choice voting, things could get weird. Texas, if there's anything with Tallarico, if he actually does do, like, put up a better 2018 performance, Abbott could get under 10%. In Kansas, Democratic held governor. Red state should flip easily, but Democratic Party is going to fund it a lot since it's a Democratic seat. Alright, now to the leans for the Democrats. Wisconsin, Michigan, Arizona. Look, Wisconsin is going to be very close because of the pop, but with how crazy Wisconsin's been in the presidential level being all swingy, like the closest there hasn't been a race in this era, in the Trump era, besides 2018's Senate race has been above 5 points. And I think Democrats are favored to hold, but I think it's going to be close. Closer than what the environment should have it. Michigan, I would have it likely, but Democrats are getting split with a third party, the former mayor of Detroit being in there, going to take some leftist votes away from the Democrats, especially in like Dearborn. But I doubt he takes away too much for Democrats to win. But John James is strong, but there's been polling that he may lose to Perry Johnson somehow. And that happens, and then I don't know what Perry Johnson can do, but I doubt he has the like, even though John James is a strong candidate, he's winless in state elections. And Perry Johnson was kicked off the ballot in 22, so. Hmm. All right, finally we got the tilts. For Democrats, I got Iowa. Actually, no, it's not even the tilts. I still forgot the leans for Republicans, which is Nevada. Look, Nevada's going to be close, but their governor's actually very popular. And yeah, I think he holds on. Now, time to the tilts. For the Democrats, I got Iowa. Listen, Rob Sanders is very good. He was like probably one of the best recruits Democrats could have gotten. Democrats probably wish they could have got him for the Senate race, but the governor's race is up against Randy Feenstra. I don't know how strong he could be, but Rob Sand has won in elections where Democrats have had a great year in Iowa, and years like 22 where Democrats get absolutely crushed in Iowa. Rob Sand won in both types of environments, so I think he could actually win this race, and I think he's favored somewhat right now, but we'll have to see. Finally, my tilts for Republicans, Ohio and Georgia, probably the two most important states, ironically. Vivek, not a good candidate, but with Republican leaning in Ohio, he's still the favorite. In Georgia, I'm going to come down to the wire. I think we'll see if Ossoff has any coattails, because if that happens, Georgia could flip. And also, or Roanoke may think about running for president in 28, knowing that their seat could potentially be filled by another Democrat. But right now, pure toss up, tilting towards the Republicans, I think. All right. So 26, 24 is my composition for the governors here. So let's go now to the House. Well, shoot. It got reloaded. Not good. Um, uh, that's not good. I know this wasn't supposed to happen, but you guys are now about to see me just start rating the seats I had, and then we can go through rating the seats I did not have as safe. So give me a moment. Let's do this right quick. I apologize for that, guys. It might be a little bit of a longer video, but I didn't know this would. I didn't think the map would reload, but I didn't think the map would reload. But that's on me. My bad. Um, yeah, that's my bad, guys. Yeah, that is my bad, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It's gonna take me a little bit, so just bear with me. Or you could skip ahead to when I actually start ranking. Again, it's my bad, guys. Yeah. If you want to see the rest of the prediction, you can skip ahead to when I start. Because I don't know what else to say at this point. I usually do this before the videos, so I don't have to waste time, which unfortunately I still have to do, and I apologize for that. Oop. Again, I'm sorry, guys. Um, I know I'm wasting a little bit of time, but you know what? To avoid you guys wasting time on this video, I will put in the description. I'll put chapters in this video's description so you guys could go to exactly where my prediction starts and where this stuff ends. Well, all right. This is where I'm starting. I got 86 competitive races, 193 safe Democrat, 156 safe Republicans. You guys know how this works. I'm going to go from east to west, and let's get this show on the road. I wasted so much of you guys' time, and I apologize for that. Let's get going. So, first off, in the Northeast, we got only Maine second and New Hampshire second. Lean Republican in New Hampshire second. Likely Democrat. Not New Hampshire second and New Hampshire second is likely Democrat. Maine second is lean Republican. That will be a pickup. I got a likely Republican in the first of New York. A likely Democrat in the fourth of New York. In the lower seat, I got lean Democrat. I got lean Democrat up here in the 19th of New York, and I got likely Republican in the 21st of New York. That's the old Stefanik seat. Well, the Stefanik seat, she's retiring. All right, over in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. All right, so we're starting with Pennsylvania. The Erie, Pennsylvania district. I think that's the 16th. It goes to likely Republican. I got likely. I got lean Democrat here in the Scott Perry seat. Lean Democrat here in the Pennsylvania 7. Pennsylvania 8. I now have it as Tilt Democrat. I have lean Republican now in the Brian Fitzpatrick seat. I still have Tilt Democrat in New Jersey 7. And in the new Jeffrey Andrews seat, I got it now as likely Republican. Down here into the Virginias and North Carolina, North Carolina, and South Carolina, I got lean Democrat there for the second, likely Democrat there in the seventh, and lean Republican here in the first. Alright, here we go. In North Carolina, likely Republican in the seventh and third. I now have North Carolina's first as tilt Democrat and lean Republican in the 11th. We got likely Republican here in South Carolina 1, likely Republican in Georgia 7th. That's the McCormick seat. I got it as likely Republican now. Alright. And then Tennessee 5 is obviously leaning Republican due to what's going on with Andy Ogles. And the Florida seats. Alright, Aaron, we're starting with the 2nd district. We got Neil Dunn retiring, likely Republican. I think it's an Aaron Bean, 4-4, likely Republican. Lean Republican in the Corey Mills seat. Corey Mills is having some problems. I think he is going to face an expulsion vote or something like that. He is going to have a competitive race. The 15th of Florida, I got likely Republican. Lean Republican in the 13th of Florida. Likely Democrat here in the 9th and 23rd of Florida. And then in the 27th, I got likely Republican. Alright, up into the Midwest. Alright, Ohio. We get the 7th, 15th, 8th, and 10th. All at likely Republican. For the 1st and 13th, got it as likely Democrat. I'm making another move in Ohio 9. It's now lean Democrat. I think Captor should now be the favorite to keep her seat there in Ohio, 9th district. Over here, Kentucky 6, likely Republican. Same with Indiana 5. Indiana 1, likely Democrat. I got likely Democrat up here in the 8th of Michigan. The 7th of Michigan and the 10th of Michigan I got as like lean Democrats. Alright, over here in the 4th of Michigan, likely Republican. Wisconsin, I think this is the 8th. I now have a likely Republican. The 1st now has a lean Republican. I now have the 13th as a lean Democrat. The Minnesota 2nd, I got likely Democrat. Likely Republican in the 8th. And likely Republican in Minnesota's 1st. Alright. Iowa. Lean Republican in Iowa's 1st. Or Iowa's 2nd. Iowa's 1st is the Marinette Miller mixed seat. Likely Democratic. I think she is probably going to be the most endangered Republican this cycle due to how close her races have been. And then, with the Don Bacon seat being opened up, likely Democrat. And I got lean Democrat here in the district held by, I forgot his name, but I was 3rd is now lean Democrat. And these 2nd and 5th of Missouri got all likely Republican. And then over here in Kansas 2nd, likely Republican as well. Alright. Down in the South, I got a seat in Arkansas now I lay as likely Republican. Alright, in Texas, the 28th, likely Democrat. The 34th, lean Democrat. The 32nd, likely Democrat. The 9th, I forgot, is now likely Republican as well. The 35th, tilt Republican. Lean Republican in the 15th of Texas. I now have leaned Republican in the 23rd. We're going to have a special election there to replace Tony Gonzalez is in the old seat, and this seat, I believe, is going to be with the old district lines, which are slightly more Democratic. I say if Democrats win that seat, it's going to be pretty close race. If Brandon Herrera wins the special election, I think it's going to be back to likely. But right now, it's lean Republican. Over here in the Southwest, I got likely Republican here in Nevada second, likely Democrat here in the third in Nevada. Arizona first and sixth are lean Democrat. Likely Democrat here in New Mexico second. Likely Republican in Arizona's first. Actually, no, it's lean. And then likely Republican here in the fourth and fifth of Colorado. Lean Republican in Colorado 3. And then lean Democrat in Colorado 8. In Alaska, likely Republican. Montana's first. I got it now at lean Republican. I got Washington third and Oregon 5 now at likely Democrat. Alright, now to California's districts. Likely Democrat, lean Democrat. I forgot to fill this in. Lean Democrat, lean Republican. Alrighty. So that, a lot of races I had. I'm now shifting a ton more races over to the Democrats. My new majority Democratic majority map is 230 Democrats, 205 Republicans. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.